Hey, welcome to Vic Sports Center. We're here standing next to the new 1880 Angler that is a new boat in Rangers lineup. And basically they took the Angler from last year, made it a little bit wider, refreshed the interior, made it a little newer interior. And one thing Rangers done actually down their whole line, whether it's on the bass boats and even onto the walleye boats and to the Anglers and the Riatas, is they've actually been making the boats just a touch wider and also narrowing the gunnels a little bit and making the top of the gunnels very flat, okay? And so what that does by narrowing the gunnels a little bit, it gives you more walk-around space inside the boat. And a lot of people that are looking at boats of this caliber and this size have to realize that, you know, when you're looking at an 18.5-foot boat, having the ability to stand 3 people across the back of the boat if you're trolling or what have you is a huge feature. And also being able to sit in the fishing seats and turn to your side and actually be able to fish out the side of the boat, another big feature. So Rangers doing a great job, always trying to think ahead and try to think of their next move. The 1880 is just a great new boat for the customer who wants a multi-species boat but can't quite get a 619 or 620 or 621 in their garage, or if this the dollars and cents part of it, these 1880 Anglers can come equipped with a single console, a dual console, a full windshield, with or without a bimini. I mean, there's so many variables. These boats can price from the high 30s up into the 40s very easily, depending on options. But you can actually get a really nice package for that low 40s and make you an all-around great rig. All right, here we are at the back end of the 1880 Angler, and as you can see, one of the first things you'll take a look at is it does have a swim ladder to get it in and out of the boat. It's actually a big thing in these boats. Most of the customers that are purchasing rigs of this caliber are definitely going to be in a little rougher water. I can tell you that if you go out, it is not that easy to get in if you're in 2 or 3 footers. It actually happened to me one time over in the Detroit River. I of all things, dove after my cell phone that I dropped in the water, and I can tell you it was not that easy jumping back in that boat. I was quite a bit younger at the time, and but I had all my Gore-Tex on, my suit, my Gore-Tex filled up with water, and when I came up and jumped out back into that boat, I got to tell you, I had to put my foot on the motor and really push myself in because I had an extra 50 pounds of water in my bibs and everything, so it was not that easy to get back in. Having a ladder is a great idea and a great safety feature. On the back end of this particular boat, we do have the 150 Yamaha 4-stroke, which is just an incredible engine. The 4-stroke motors have really come a long way. We do sell a lot of the Yamaha 4-strokes and the Mercury 4-strokes. But the one thing about that particular motor is that exact motor has been around a long time. So that's probably a 15-year-old motor. They haven't changed it much at all, maybe just a couple graphics and things like that. But just a very proven engine. Great gas mileage, quiet, no noise, and no 2-stroke engine oil. So you can run it all year and just at the end of the year just get an oil change done on it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hop up in the boat and start going through it that way, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're now on the inside of the 1880 Angler, and again, what I talked about earlier is having the narrower gunnels and making the boat a little bit wider. And as you can see, I took one of the seats out, one of the seats that goes here, and with even just one of the seats out, there's a lot of walk-around space here. Now we're leaving the bimini top up for a couple reasons. Number one, just to show the bimini top, and number two, it's cutting down the glare that we're having a little issue with here in the shop because we have a lot of lights in the showroom, so it's making it a little tough with the camera. But on this particular boat, we do have our tracks on it. We have 48-inch tracks, which makes it super nice that you can just take that plastic insert out and then slide rod holders in, net holders, tool holders, anything you want. And that really does make a great feature. Here at the shop, we do sell a lot of Cisco rod holders and also Birch rod holders. And both those companies make a huge selection of whether it's rod holders, tool holders, net holders, downriggers, all kinds of stuff. So if anyone wants to check out their websites, that'd be a great idea just to check out they got really good high quality stuff on those sites. In the back end of this boat, we do have a storage box here, okay? And they basically leave this box in the back here to be just a gel-coated box, so you can throw your anchors in there, bumpers, ropes, anything that you don't really care if it gets wet, number one. Number two, that may have some dirt on it like an anchor once you pull it up. You just throw it in there and you don't have to worry about getting some carpet dirty. In the other side over here, I pull the seat down. We do have your starting battery, your breaker, your main dash breaker here, and also your on-off switch for your battery that shuts everything off in the boat. And that's one great feature of these Rangers, is having a shut-off switch. So you can't, if you leave your boat in your garage and a bunch of kids get up in your boat, there's nothing that can be turned on. They can't trim the motor, they can't do anything. You can shut everything off with just one flick of a switch back here. It's a great feature. Now they do put another little door over here, okay, which is also the same door that is on the other side that has the swim ladder. Now, a lot of times we will get a boat in for stock, and let's say it's this particular boat, and the customer decides that he wants a kicker motor. If that's the case, then we can actually take the ladder off. Because we have an access hole over here and the way it's molded, we can actually put the ladder over on the starboard side. We can put the kicker on the port side. Now, there are some people that want their kicker on the starboard side, and so they've left it very much so up to the customer of where they want things mounted. Just makes it very versatile. In the floor of the boat, we do have snapping carpet with non-skid everywhere, so you can just pop up your carpet. You want to take it out, you take your seats out, take the carpet right out. If you do leave the carpet in and it gets to become a mess, then you can actually just pull it out, hit it with a power washer, and you're done. And throw it over the clothesline and let it dry. Down on the floor, there's also an access panel. This is one huge feature of a Ranger. I got to tell you, in the past here at the shop, we have sold a lot of different boat lines. Now we've got to these Rangers, it's so incredibly easy to change like aerator pumps and things like that because they give us a perfect access. So right here we have access to our 2 aerator pumps, one for our bait well and one for our live well. And to take them in and out, they're literally just cartridges, and you just push a button, turn them out, put a new cartridge in. Especially if you buy the cartridges from Ranger, they already have the plugs on them, so you can change an aerator pump in 30 seconds instead of having to take out a set of cutters, cut them, strip the wires back, put joints, all that kind of stuff. Makes it very, very easy. You know, you never want to think about having a problem with a boat, but if you do, the ease of getting it fixed is a great part of it. Okay, here we are. We're at the cockpit area of the 1880 Angler, and as you can see at the dash area, we do have an HDS-7 mounted inside the dash. There's also a nice flat area up here that if you wanted to put another unit up here, whether it be on a ram mount and bring it forward a little bit, you can definitely have that option. Push button dash all down below, hydraulic steering, full instrumentation across here. Okay, this particular boat we did do a full windshield on, but you can get a single console, you can get the double bubbles, or you can get the full windshield. Okay, there is actually now new down in the floor a step-up cooler, which is very nice. It is nice to be able to have a step up onto that front deck, so it's not such a big step all the way up. Now, one thing about the Angler that is different than the Reata, the Angler, the consoles are moved back just a little bit, and the deck comes all the way to the back. And this is one of the greatest features on this particular boat, is the big center rod locker. Now the center rod locker is very similar to the ones on the 619, 620s, and 621s. Again, double shock absorbers on it so the lid stays up, but a big, big rod locker right down the center with big holes. So there are times that people will double up. They'll put 2 rods in each hole, but you can definitely get a bunch of rods in that rod locker, all very finished. The other thing about the rod locker is down underneath the rod locker there's a false floor, and that is actually where we can put 3 31 series batteries. So we can get a 36 volt system trolling motor on this, and all the batteries will be down in the floor completely hidden. Also, they are up in the front and in the center of the boat. So the nice thing about that is that it'll help the boat plane off even faster and hold that nose down when you're running big waves, give you good boat control. But one thing I always tell people, it's great to be able to have a boat that you can trim down and really hold that nose down, because if you ever have the need, you can always trim up. If you have a boat that's really light in the nose and you can't trim it down anymore, there's not a whole lot you can do at that point in time. So you're better off having a boat that will ride nose low and have the ability to trim it up than you are to not be able to have one that holds down to the water. Over here we also have a nice glove box, which is great for throwing your wallet and all your gear in there that you want to keep safe for the day. It is lockable also. So again, we do have full windshield. We do have bimini top on this particular one. Big rod locker up here. We're going to move the camera a second so we can try to take a look at the other compartments in the front deck, but I really wanted to get you a shot of the center rod locker from that direction. Okay, here we are up on the front deck of the 1880 Angler, and as I know it's a little tough for the camera to see, but we do have a bait well that's over here in this corner, and that one does have is completely valved, has its own pump, pumps water in, recirculates it, does whatever you need it to do, all sitting at the driver's seat. Up in front of that is a big storage area that is considered the cooler, another cooler, okay? So you can use the step up as a cooler, or you can use this as a cooler. This is a big cooler, okay? It does have a big drain in it and everything like that. But I can tell you that if you're not going to use it as a cooler, by all means, use it as a great dry storage compartment. Over on the other side is just a complete big storage box, okay? The 3-bank charger is mounted back in the back corner of it. But in here, like right now, we have our bait bag, we have our window that comes down from the bimini top, okay? And also another neat little feature is the window that goes between the windshield and the floor. So as you can see, we haven't taken this one out yet, but this thing snaps right in between. When you close your windshield, this snaps in place, and now no air can get back to you as you're running down the lake. Believe it or not, keeps you way, way warmer. Great feature to have. So just a big storage area up in this front box. Another thing about the Rangers is all of their lids are very thick. A lot of people don't ever check that, but when you open up a compartment in any other boat and you put your fingers over the lid like this, you'll be really surprised at how thin their lids really are. Rangers are actually core lids. There's a layer of glass and a foam core, and another layer of glass. The nice thing about that is it does stop a lot of the heat transfer. You can never stop all of the heat transfer and condensation, but it does stop an awful lot of it. They do use a double seal trim, rubber bead all the way around their compartments, and there's a nice big lip, and there's drains in all the corners. So it really gives you about the driest compartments you could possibly have. All their compartments are locking, except for the live wells, because most people don't need a locking live well. But I can tell you that all their other compartments are locked, so you can put your gear in the boat, leave it in there, and go from there. Up here on the front deck is also a pro pole and butt seat, and then we do have an Elite 5 here in the bow on this particular boat. Now this particular boat we do have it rigged with an 80 iPilot, which 80 iPilots are incredible. They do make the 80 and the 101. This particular one, like I said, we do have the 80 on. The nice thing about the iPilots is they do have a foot pedal that we can run. The foot pedal can be operated anywhere in the boat. It has a 15-foot cord. And from the foot pedal, you could be up here running this boat, and say you want to cut across a bay or something like that if you're smallmouth fishing. You could just turn it on autopilot continuous, set your throttle, point it in the direction you want to go, and it'll take you right across. There's also a hand remote for them, so that if you are trolling, like say you're up trolling up at Lake Erie, and you're going to be operating from the back, you definitely want to use the remote. The nice thing about the remote is it has GPS speed in it. So you can actually be sitting there looking at your remote, say, okay, I'm trolling 1.4 miles per hour, autopilot's on, it's taking me this direction, everything's good. If I want to speed up a little bit, I hit the plus button. If I want to slow down, I hit the minus. If I want to turn left or right, there's arrows to do that also. The other great feature about the remote is it does have spot lock on it. So let's say you're going to go perch fishing. You can pull up on your spot, hit spot lock. You don't have to drop an anchor. It'll hold you right there. It's just a wonderful, wonderful feature. So the 80 iPilot that's up on the front of this is a Trove iPilot. Is just a great, makes this a great all-around package. Whether you're smallmouth fishing, whether you're walleye fishing, steelhead fishing, whatever you want to do, this is a very, very versatile 18.5-foot boat. Okay, here we are. We're on the outside front bow of the boat of the new 1880 Angler, and as you can see, it has a very nice, sharp, deep V. This particular boat, we do have a Hamby's keel guard on. If you're going to get a keel guard, and you know right up front you're going to get a keel guard, it's a really good idea to have one done at the factory if you want a Hamby's. Hamby's are actually fiberglassed on. All the ones that we can put on at the shop are actually basically glued on. Okay, so the Hamby's are actually resined on, just a great, great feature. They do mount on this particular boat the spare tire sideways. The first time I saw it, I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting that they would actually do that. But I can tell you, for getting in and out of this boat, it's actually a great feature. Gives you a big area to stand on when you're getting in and out of the boat. Just make sure you don't put any tire shine on that tire, because you'll be slipping out of that boat. But it is actually a pretty nice feature to be able to step out of here onto here, whether you're hooking your boat or what you're doing. It just depends up to you. It all depends on you. One other thing I want to talk about are the Ranger Trail trailers. and a lot of people don't really look into this as much as they really should. Ranger trailers have always been C-channel trailers, okay? And back in the day, they are always just a painted trailer, which they did use a very good primer and a very good paint job on those boats. And it's amazing here at the shop, we'll get in 1988 Rangers that the trailer is still in incredible shape. And that speaks a lot for that boat, because these boats are not cheap, let's all be honest. They're starting to get up there pretty high in price, but they're basically sticking right with everybody else. But having a trailer that can last 10, 20, 30 years is a huge deal. I know a lot of the boats that we sold back in the early 90s, customers are calling us now and ordering new trailers. Well, I can tell you, if you have to put a new trailer underneath a 20-foot bass boat, you're going to be looking at $5, $6 grand, and that's a lot of money to put into something that's a 1990 or 1992. Okay, so having a C-channel trailer, Ranger's actually gone another step even above and beyond that now. All of their trailers have what's called road armor on them, which is basically a sprayed-on bed liner. It is super tough, super durable, looks really good, does have a little bit of shine to it, so it does keep the appearance up on the boat. They have fiberglass fenders on all their boats, which is a wonderful feature, because you don't have to worry about the fenders rotting out or rusting out, especially here in Ohio. And they do have surge disc brakes on all their trailers, 18 foot and above. And so we have surge disc brakes on this trailer, swing away tongue, road armor, fiberglass fenders. Just a very well laid out trailer, and that's standard. So all that stuff is standard on the 1880 as far as trailer wise, and most boat companies, you're going to spend $1,500 extra to get those features on their boat trailer. So it's great that Ranger makes them standard, but I will tell you, it keeps the boat looking great for a long, long time. And that's the another major advantage of Ranger, is you're buying a high quality boat, high quality trailer, combine everything the way they build it, it can be a lifelong boat. And the ability to have a boat, and it's great to see, we see them, customers with 30-year-old Rangers still out there all the time. And that's a great testament to their construction and to the company. So just a great overall boat. Anybody that wants to come out and take a look at the 1880 Angler, give us a call down at the shop at 330-673-7600. You can go on our website, check out all of our current inventory at vicsportscenter.com. And as a lot of people do realize, we do stock a lot of boats. We are actually even in the process right now to add a little bit on to our showroom. So we're going to be able to actually have 40 boats inside on display here this winter. So anybody who wants to come down and take a look, shoot us an email, give us a call. It'd be great to have you down.